Caps. Hey guys, we're going live right here. A few minutes early, so I can try to get everything set up. We're streaming on YouTube and Facebook at the moment. I'm gonna try to get Instagram hooked up later. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, because it's cute.
You need Dave here.
I had a massive update on this tablet that we're using. I just hijacked it until Brandon and Jeff come on, making sure everything looks good. Can somebody send a comment? Make sure the comments are showing.
You push the little thing in there.
Hey, what's up, Noah and Nick? Hey, Nick. Good afternoon. Oh, look what I caught. So we got these in today. Look, they're the batten jackets, the quarter zip, long sleeve with the short portion, just like the khaki ones for Left Field Lounge, but we got them for everybody in light gray. And what else do I have? Look, things are just flying at me in the air. Look, light gray one, but you got to wait till you see what's on the back of it. Look, we got flag on the back of it. This is a hoodie. So this is a little weighted hoodie to keep you warm. This is a batten jacket, cage jacket, quarter zip. Thank you, Noah. Hey, Jeff. Oh, look, the stuff's just flying at me out of the air. That's so cool. I like how we did these hats. Look at these hats right here. They're pretty cool. We got this short sleeve, dry fit jacket jersey thing in with a little hood on it, and it says "Shut Up and Hit on the back." And this, we call it royal, maybe royal kind of blue and red. This one's cool. This one, it's too cold right now for it, but we like it. Brandon's gonna wait. We're gonna add Brandon right now, and he's gonna
Here I am.
watch it. Hey, it's me. Watch this, Brandon. Look what I got out of the air. So I'm showing everybody what we got in. Look at these, guys. This one's my favorite. I think I might steal one. Look.
Nice.
Look, this one is the same one. It's got a hood. It's really lightweight with a pocket. And it says "Shut Up and Hit" on the back. And it's like a dry fit material. And look at the inside of the hood. And this is white and red. I said I might steal one of these. I like these. But look at mine.
That's cool.
All over it. Oh, look. I got another one. And this was the same dry fit material. Long sleeve. Shut Up and Hit. I'm sorry, short porch on the front with a little pocket. And this one's got the flag on the back. It's a darker gray than the heavier weighted hoodie. This one's a light gray. It's heavyweight. This one's like a dry fit. These are going up on our website. I'm going to try to get them up tonight. I've already taken pictures. But that's what we have coming down the pipeline in the queue. And look at the inside the hat.
Got a lot more, but we don't have time to show.
We got a lot more, but I'm about to give the live back to Brandon and Jeff.
You're doing good, Miss Leslie. You're doing good.
Thank you. Thank you. I gotta go get these. I gotta go get all of this stuff on the website. So stay tuned, everybody. I'm gonna go to work right now. Hey, Capri, how are you doing out there?
She's like, "Come on, I gotta jump in here, Brandon."
If y'all know me, I'm a licensed disc jockey, talk on the radio, and it's called Dead Air.
What is going on, my man, Brandon Murray?
What's up, bud?
Man, let me tell you, we're just chugging along, man, chugging along here at Short Porch, and we have a lot of new stuff coming, as you see on the gear side. And man, but the big news tonight is we're jumping all in on the baseball front, right?
That's right. That good old fashioned BB core.
The BB core, yeah. So I wanted everybody, that that has been looking for, and everybody that knows us across the country in the baseball world, to just become aware of what's about to happen with short porch and baseball. This is just the start. The BB core is just the front of it, as we will be going into travel baseball down the road. Unsure the time frame on that, but we're, right, the BB core is right around the corner, man, with the high school and college. And I know nobody more than you has been out, working
Correct.
the short porch bats with some of the players on the field. I know you've told a little stories about that, but what are you seeing so far with the short porch baseball bats?
Getting a lot of good feedback. My main man, Big H up here, Big Hunter, loves it, man. Whew, man, he's a dude. One of my other one, Eli Knight, he's down at FBU right now, and as soon as he comes in from down there this week, what they're doing, he'll be
Yeah,
jumping on that. Got a lot of other stuff up there at Lakeview. Kids are just loving it. Couple kids that Hunter hit with up there is just hitting balls out of the ballpark with it right now, and that's there's nothing like good old fashioned see it live and see it go. I mean, the kids are hitting the ball with his bat. It's 1 or 2 miles an hour, a little bit better than most that are out there. I've seen it, pocket radared it, and I'm seeing the results on the field.
yeah, that's the same thing we've seen here. Christian's been around at some of the fields. The kids are just chopping at the bit, man, to grab them as they come out first of the year. They know this was, everybody who knows us they know this has been coming, and we're just super excited about it. And we wanted to start talking baseball as much as we do softball going forward. Obviously, baseball is, I think, it's the greatest sport on earth. Nothing against slow pitch softball, that we all love dearly and are thankful that we can play, especially senior softball. However, nothing like, being at the plate. I tell people all the time, nothing like a slider at 93 mile an hour. That separates the that separates the men from the boys right there.
I
And
will agree. It is
yeah,
the hardest sport in the world to
seeing
be good at. It's hard.
seeing baseball at such a high level in your area in North Georgia, the mecca of high school and travel baseball across the country.
It's very, very good baseball up here. That Cobb County area over there is just ridiculous with so many good players coming out of the area. Etowah, Walton, Harrison, all those schools over there, Kale, all of them, they can play. And then up here where I'm at, Buford, Grayson, Gainesville, Cherokee Bluff, North Oconee, Oconee County, Jefferson, all of them up here. North Gwinnett, I mean, they can play.
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing like it. The only advantage we had here with the travel baseball is all those kids, all the best top 1% players, they had trouble getting on one team at ages from 8 to 18. A lot of that was parents and kids and where they wanted to play and who they wanted to play with. And as we were able to put all the best players from Southern Georgia, Florida, North Florida, South Carolina, all on one team, it made it really difficult for travel baseball teams in the Atlanta area to handle us. However, we had no competition in this part of the state because of that. So we had to travel up there and play most weekends, and either in North Georgia or go down to Florida, which Florida has a great travel baseball,
Yes, it's good
you
down there.
know, across the board from North Florida to South Florida. It's really good, as does Texas and California. Uh,
Absolutely.
Baseball is not much different than softball, where the warm states, there's just so much competitiveness in the warm states. Not
Yep.
that there aren't good teams in other states, but where there might be one good team, you might find 6 or 7 or 8 great teams in these warm states that battle it out all the time, right?
Yeah, you got your Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, right on through Georgia to Florida. It's pretty nasty. You can
Yeah.
you can find some really good baseball players amongst those states. It's very, very good. All you got to do is look when Max Preps or Perfect Game's going to release their top 25 and top 50 here after the 1st of January for the preseason. Most of it's going to be Texas to Florida and then some California schools.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one thing I did, as you've seen, I wanted to brush up on is, travel baseball across the board and the influx of kids that just don't play recreation anymore.
That's
Recreation
right.
almost gone. So there's a big divide from double A to triple A to major in travel baseball, bigger than ever, because the recreations are, when we grew up, recreation sports was massive. All the best players played recreation, right?
Yeah, it's funny you said that because I just stopped in over here where I live at Travis Devine's facility, Devine. His dad's Adrian Devine. Used to play with the Braves and the Rangers. Mr. Adrian's passed now, but I was just over here with Travis. That's where I used to coach out of, and stopped in and seen the guys because I hadn't seen him in a while. It was like a massive reunion, seeing all the kids in there. And Travis was telling me, and rec ball up here wasn't horrible, but it has gotten really bad now, and it's all went travel because you have so many people up here that you can still kind of somewhat at it decent. But it's what Travis was telling me. It's just not what it once was. It's filtered down bad. These kids have got to be in travel ball to get any kind of competition just about now. Because it's pretty much direct ball now is what I would call startup, trying if you've never played and you need to get your feet wet. That's good for it.
And that's what I was telling parents 20 years ago. If you aspire to play collegiate sports or even high school sports at a high level, if you have a child that's 7, 8, 9 years old, that's the time you have to get out of recreation and move
Yeah,
into a competitive baseball arena. That, not saying that's right or wrong, these are just the facts.
I agree.
Um, yeah, because nothing's wrong with recreational sports. I love them. However, there's very few kids at after 10 that are capable of jumping from recreation into travel sports and
It's hard.
playing at a high level. They just get too behind. Kids are playing too many games. The training's better. The indoor facilities are everywhere. And it just makes it really tough. So if you aspire to be a collegiate baseball player, you almost have to jump out at a really young age. I can't even name one player that didn't come out at a really young age. We did have one kid, Brantley Upshaw, I think Christian found. He wasn't really playing rec. I think he was playing like double A. Maybe he found him 11, 12, and now he plays up in at Georgia College. But he's a 6'7", 6'9" kid, so I call that a one-off. Not many kids jumped out that late to play at a high level and made it to the collegiate ranks. And there are some one-offs, but not many, man, not many.
Correct on that, brother. I agree with that.
But the baseball bat's coming, man, and I know we're gonna be talking to all the high schools and colleges coming up, and
Correct.
man, everybody's excited right now. Everybody's wanting to
Yeah. We got a
grab
lot of
them.
feedback, a lot of calls, a lot of athletic directors had one call, obviously down in Alabama from this
Yeah.
weekend, trying to set something up. So it's coming, man. So I hope everybody gets on board because our bat, I'm telling you, it's the real McCoy, brother.
Well, when we jumped into the USSSA and the softball senior associations, people will know we'd come in running. The USSSA, look at where we are now, and I think we're 16, 17 months in. That's hard to believe. Seems like we've been doing it 10 years, right? 16,
Yep.
17 months. And when you talk about the better bats on the planet, period, I think most people mention short porch and USSSA bats.
They
And
do. Yeah. Yep.
to think we're that young, there's no reason to believe that the same thing isn't going to happen in baseball. The R&D's there, the materials there, the weightings there on the bats, everything. And we're long time baseball coaches. So we have a great idea of what a top tier baseball bat should look like.
I know these kids up here where I'm at, and the ones I put in their hands are just chomping at the bit for January to get here so they can get their short porch BB core in their hand. I mean, literally, when I can't emphasize that enough. I'm using Boris, it's his name, and I give his last name. He's in high school, so I wouldn't do that to him. But I mean, he can't hit a ball out of the ballpark, and all of a sudden he picks up some of the demos I sent that we are going to be BB core, and he's sitting out of the ballpark. It's like, this is crazy. I'm sitting there, proof is in the pudding. So I'm just telling the truth. It is what it is. Could be swing weight, could be, I just know the exit velocities are picking up with it.
Yeah, and somebody was asking, is aluminum or composite? Our bats are a type of scandium. So they are an alloy. They're a top tier alloy as BB cores. Composites and BB cores really don't help, where composites give a great advantage. BB core baseball bats are made to be, regulated down away from travel baseball. The composites that are travel baseball, our travel baseball bats will most definitely, they're Kevlar. That'll be coming out in the future, and
Yep.
with similar designs to our softball bats now. But the BB core, which was scandium, which was a first for us, it's a great alloy, very responsive. And we it's loud, right? It's super loud. So,
Yeah, it is.
yeah, when you barrel it up, you know it. If you're hitting inside, it's gonna ring, man. I'll tell you that. It's loud. It sounds high performing. It is high performing. Of course, we have hit tracks here, so we know that it is top tier. It's top tier in performance. The computer says it is. The kids on the field show you that it is. Everything along the lines is going to be, it's going to be awesome with that. And just to get back to, the years of baseball that we've all been in is exciting stuff for us and the kids, and the kids who grind it out to try to be better every day, because I've seen some kids just work so hard to get from junior high to high school to college and grind it out on a yearly, just all year long, no
Jeff,
days.
you know more so than anybody. The average person who really hasn't run around baseball don't really understand how hard it is to be just average in that sport, much less elite.
Oh
I
man.
mean, it is difficult. It is. I tell you, it's the only sport in the world that you literally can have 10 at bats, barrel up 10 balls, barrel them, and go 0 for 10
Absolutely.
and fail 10 times, even though your exit velo's there. You squared it up. You're running around the field doing what you want to do with it and have nothing to show for it. That's why baseball is so mentally challenged on people. People don't understand it. It's a sport. It's a constant. You got to work at it. You got to hit. You got to throw. You got to keep yourself flexible. You got to train. You got to do it. More of the story is you got to love baseball to be good at it, much less elite.
You're damn right. My old coach, or assistant coach, or I call him co-coach, James Parker, who was a great player in his own day. I think Parker's 67 years old now. Well, he told me the first year we coached together in travel ball back in the day, he said, baseball is about peaks and valleys. He said,
Right.
anybody can do well when they're up here. He said, but when you're down in that valley in baseball, when you're a player, what you do at that moment defines you. I've always said this about softball players too, but I heard it from him first. And I really believe, when you're struggling, when you do go 0 for 10, because you will, if you play enough baseball, you will go 0 for 10. I don't care how good you are. And when you do go on that little run, what you do right there, that will define you as a player, how you react to it, what you do to change, or if you just stay the course, and eventually them barreled balls just start falling, because they
That's
will.
right.
Yeah, they're going to start falling if you do everything right. And, another thing with kids is high IQ baseball players make a difference. So
Absolutely.
if you have a high IQ kid, which Jackson Lanier always said, he was a player of mine out of Millen, Georgia, always said he was the highest IQ player I ever had. He did crazy things. I seen this kid in 8U on a ball that was a hit, a base hit to right field. Kid was running to second. This kid was never taught anything like this. It was the craziest play I ever seen. This 8-year-old kid, Jackson Lanier, looked at the kid running to second and said, "Hey man, this is a world tournament for 8U." He said, "Hey man, it was a foul ball." And the kid stopped, turned around, ran back, and got out. And I would never condone such a thing, but it was the highest IQ play I've ever seen by an 8-year-old.
That's
Whatever even
impressive,
made
brother.
him think to do such a thing? And again, I wouldn't condone such a thing, but he turned out to be at 12, 13, 14U, the highest IQ kid I ever had. And he wasn't the fastest, the strongest, but he was a great pitcher, a great leadoff hitter at times, played the game right. What separated him from the average players was his high IQ. Well, lo and behold, I think he went on to get uh oh crap, what do they call it when you finish second in your class? Salutatorian, maybe? Not
That's
valedictorian.
correct. That's
I think
salute is the
yeah, I
second.
think he's salutatorian. I might be wrong. He may have gotten valedictorian. I'll have to check, but I
I
think he
was
got
I was
salutatorian.
lastatorian, so I was the opposite spectrum
So,
of salutatorian. I was lastatorian, if that's a word.
but just goes to show you I was right about his baseball IQ and what made him separate, as a player. It was just wild, the things I seen some of these kids do through a game at the highest level to kind of manipulate a tournament to their favor. And we've talked about this a little in softball, is you can throughout a tournament, you can always do something, just a high IQ play to change a game. So, pay attention, think about what you're doing. And man, these kids, I've seen kids do amazing things, but that kid does stand out to me. I had a lot of star athletes. I had kids, I know you know a few. We talked about one today who may go football and may not be a college baseball player. I had Tanner Ennis, who was one of the bigger athletes that played for me. He was a football player. But however, I went to college to play football. However, he played on raw ability. Some kids had raw ability, some was IQ, some like the Rigdon kid that played for me that's at Vanderbilt he just outworked everybody. You can't outwork the kid. So a kid who's gonna spend, 40, 50 hours a week training, it's hard to beat that kid too.
You damn right it is, man. That hard work, when those kids have that work ethic, like I said, they with the love of the game like that, it's man, it's hard to stop that. I mean,
Yeah,
they're steadily outworking you. And a lot of times I tell kids this. I says, you can make yourself a decent hitter by hard work, even though you're making mistakes. Because I say this about hitting. If you can't feel the mistake, you can't fix the mistake.
that's right.
When you hit a lot of BP, sometimes you can start feeling when you start leaking, you start casting, you start opening up, start joggling your eyes, you're not sinking, whichever. You can start feeling that when you work so hard and you can start saying, oh, that's what coach is saying I'm doing. I can feel that. Well, let me try this to fix it. And kids that put in the time like that, it works for them.
And I know you're a big advocate of T work and T
Absolutely.
T work for baseball players, young baseball players also, get on the tee, get on the tee, do the work, more so than what we need. They need to flatten out their swing. I'm all about some launch angle and things like this, but it just takes away a lot of bad habits when you do some tee work. And I think especially in the BB core bat genre, there's not a lot of kids out there hitting 30 home runs. Not a lot
Nope.
of kids hitting any home runs. So in the BB core bat world, you need to get on base. You need to focus on getting on base, drive through the baseball.
First thing I say about that BB core, when they become 14 years old, it's when they go, that's the first time they jump in there, that drop three. Said, you better identify your swing, your ball striking skills. You have to be a ball striker first to hit that ball. And it's at that moment, it becomes, let's play baseball in the gaps like you're supposed to. The game will start exposing. And I try to tell all these parents and all these guardians and everybody around, in my opinion, is this, and it will never change. There is no substitution for good old fashioned raw horsepower when you learn how to become a ball striker. And you get that on the squat rack, your cleans, all that stuff. When you become a good ball striker and you work your tail off in that weight room to get strong, there is no substitution for that. There is none. And I firmly believe that with my heart. That raw horsepower, that's what them kids who you talk about go to Vanderbilt, LSU, get drafted in that first round out of high school, they have all that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what, when they took the juiced composite bats away from the high school players, because the bats got juice, let's face it. When they brought it back and brought BB-Core back, it's almost come back to the wood bat world. The top
Correct.
performing wood bats are not way inferior from the BB-Cores. It's really close, guys. So when they did that, it put guys, it separated the guys who worked out,
Massive. It's
who
massive.
had born size. You might have just had a big country boy who just weighed 220 or whatever, but it separated some of the smaller guys. And when you're smaller, you have to hit the gym. You have to do things to help yourself. And, you have to cut down your strikeouts when you're smaller, because if you put more balls in play, you increase your eye has to be a little better. So maybe you walk a time or two. You have to increase your own base percentage and do things that was created in the BB-Core world that you didn't have to with the drop five, because the drop five, they're still really good. They're still really
Yes.
good. A small little kid can jack bombs with a
Yep.
drop five. Let's face it, at 11 and 12 years old, I've seen it. So yeah, it really separated the kids as far as, just born with size, and how they worked out things like this and trained. So I do get that. And I think that's a great story to tell to parents and to kids who are coming up. Yeah, one thing I did want, away from that though, I wanted to touch on what I noticed about you is how still your head is. I always talk to baseball players when I was coaching them about
Correct.
keeping their head down and not bobbing and weaving or pulling off. I pull my head at least one at bat a tournament, and I get mad about it. But when I get comfortable, I do it. So I notice you hardly ever pull your head. I never see you do it. You keep your head
And
down.
I don't. And that goes back because when I was young, I wasn't the most talented guy when I was 12. Baseball came natural to me, yeah, but I had flaws. You notice my hands are low. I had to do things. I had great coaches show me. Football was a natural sport for me as well. But when I was young, I had a coach, man. It's almost like Forrest Gump. Like I make a joke about this, like keep your eye on the ball. And my coach always said that's one thing you manipulate is you make sure you always see that ball. And they do a drill nowadays. It's common but I was taught it like 12 years old. So when I used to hit my tee work when I'm 12, I was living down in Florida at the time because my mother had met a man and she married him down there, and we lived in Florida for a brief window, and I moved back to Mississippi later on. But anyway, we do our tee work, and I do my high tee, any of that stuff. But Coach in them days, Coach Gore taught me he wanted to put a ball in front of the tee. They do it now, you'll see it. But I was doing that drill at 12 years old. They're doing now. It's so funny. And he wanted me to always, when I hit the tee, make sure my eyes stayed focused on that ball that's on the ground out in front of the tee. And it taught me how to not manipulate my eyes, because without having the natural talent of some of the other kids, you can make yourself a good hitter by making sure your head stays still and make sure you watch the ball. And it's been a common denominator from that day forward. So when I do my tee work, I'm really hard on my head, not yanking or doing none of that stuff. I'm big on eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. I know another thing with the kids had when they were young, because some of the umpires, they're given off the plate. We used to really dominate pitching off the plate and what the umpire was giving us, because we trained on that and talked about it. And I had a great catcher, a kid from Twin City named Jack Walden, who would always come back to the dugout and say, "Hey, coach, we're getting these pitches, we're getting out the zone. So we want to live there the rest of the game." And I mean, in young kid ball, when you're talking 8, 9, 10, 11, even 12, man, at times that strike zone's big.
Yep.
So I always told the kids too, when you're hitting, look back when it's a ball. When you don't swing, look back. Because if the catcher, yeah, it might be off the plate, but if the catcher sticks it and the umpire's giving it there, don't complain about it. Let's recognize that and address it with the damn rest of the team. Let's talk about it in the dugout because we have to win this game. It doesn't matter if the umpire's going 7 inches off the outside corner.
You got to adjust.
Our pitchers need to be trying to do the same thing. We need to work with what the umpire is going to give us. And that's travel baseball at its finest is you have to play to every home plate umpire, whether it's tight or large.
And I tell all these kids, the higher level, the older you get, the higher level you play, the ability to hit the ball opposite field. If you can't do it, you will eliminate yourself quick. You've got to be able, because them coaches are better, pitches are better. You better be able to handle that outer third, go middle and away constantly. Because I'm telling you now, if you can't handle that, you are going to eliminate yourself fast. And I tell all the kids out early on, you better learn how to hit a ball backside, whether you're left-handed or right-handed. I am telling you now, they will make a living off you if you cannot handle that on anything on that outer third, off speed, sliders, anything they can run that way. You are in trouble. I tell all these youngins, learn how to hit the ball backside before you do anything.
Well, I can tell you, if you're playing 17, 18 Worldwood bat, what you're going to see are sliders away. And if you can't hit backside, those sliders away are going to kill you because they're going to throw more sliders away than they are fastballs a lot of times.
No doubt.
The top
It's hard.
So with that, that's where that comes in. You can't pull that pitch.
Nope.
It's just not going to happen. And that pitch has come so. I think it's one of the harder pitches to hit in baseball. You've heard me talk about it before. That pitch is just so. It's so important the pitchers in their repertoire they have right now when they're throwing that slider, little cutter away, that if you can't hit that, then you're in a hole when you walk in the box because a lot of the best pitchers are going to have that pitch.
I was over here and I used to go watch. You may remember this guy, Dylan Lesko, was at Buford a few years ago, and he was a first rounder by the San Diego Padres, I believe. And he had got Tommy Johns, but he's in the system now doing great. But I sit over here coming to high school because my buddy Robert Gaspar's son, Jackson, was on that squad with those guys as a pitcher. Jackson's a pitcher now at Mercer. So anyway, I'd sit there and watch Dylan pitch. He'd pump that thing up 96 miles an hour, and he'd throw Uncle Charlie in there that change up. Man, I'm telling you, man, I'd watch kids it looked like they was about to swing 3 times before he got there and couldn't hit it. Everything on that outer third. You face guys like that with that much ability, you're done.
And when you get kids from 50 foot throwing in the 80s, which we had a pair, I know when we coached 12U, when you get that, I mean, man, I don't know what 50 foot, 60 foot, 80 plus. I don't know the conversion rate right off the top of my head, but I'll tell you, it's gas. It's
I
hard
want to
to
say not 77 because they do it at the Little League World Series. Like I think what are they, 50 feet, 50, 70s at Little League? Is that what it is?
I'm not
The
sure.
Little League-
I want to say it's 50, 70. I might be wrong.
50,
on that.
70 at 12U at that because I know it's 54, 80 for 13U. Then they
That's
jump to
right.
60, 90. I want to say it's 50, 70. And I think it's 77 is like equivalent to about like 96 or 97. You
Yeah.
can see it when they do the Little League World Series, when they do it up there on ESPN. They'll do some equivalency like that. They're like, I want to say like 80s, like 101 or one. It's crazy, man. How the
It's
variation
really
equates
tough.
to that.
We had a pair of kids, Gage Giovanni, Landon Yates, both went to college, play ball, and they were throwing over 80 at 12. And when we rolled them out there, now you're just throwing no hitters, and you can't
How do you
blame the
do
other
that?
team. You got coaches getting mad. I'm like, what are they supposed to do? How are you supposed to catch up with that from that close? They're just pure, they just have
Going about 'em.
ability that you can't catch.
No,
And
I'll tell you
that's
what's
all.
bad is you get a kid having to catch that at that age.
That's
Hold them hands.
Hats off. I had that little tough sumbitch from Twin City catching back there. He was good. It was really tough, but those guys just had tremendous arms at that age, and that's why we won so much around the country is the velocity that they carried and just having a supporting pitching staff that had the breaking and the changeup and everything to go with it. And just don't walk people, man. Just don't walk people.
Bingo.
Man. stop walking batters, you know.
I hate walks. I hate walks too. I'm with you.
The dumbest thing I ever heard coaches say is, man, don't be scared to walk them. You know, don't walk hitters in youth baseball, man. Just,
Those
yeah,
strikes.
yeah, throw
Those
strikes, man.
strikes.
You know, can you get behind? I understand nibbling on the corners, but can you get behind and just throw the dang thing down the middle? You
I
know, and
agree.
youth baseball, you got to be able, if you get to 3-0, throw that ball down the middle
Got
and
those
make them
strikes.
earn it. Make them earn it at that point versus put them on first base, especially at the young age when stealing is such a big part of the game because
That's
kids
right.
still,
Massive.
yeah. So you got really hard to throw kids out at that age unless you have a kid with a good slide step, which some have, but not many. And you know, you can't, if you let them get to first, sometimes you almost automatically get them to second. And that's tough, especially with the Hispanic teams down in Florida. They get really big jumps. They have smaller, faster teams a lot of times. So, you know, you're giving them doubles if you let them get to first, and that puts them in
They love
scoring.
that running game in those South Florida worlds down there.
Oh
They sure
man, and
do.
they're high IQ players. They're high
Yeah.
IQ players, so they get really good leads. It's no what I call, you know, I call it the South Georgia lead. We got guys really fast, but they're right by the bag. But them South Florida
Take
leads,
that
them kids,
lead.
they're getting a big lead, man, and that gives them an extra step. My damn
Fast,
catchers, yeah,
athletic. Get there.
yeah, catchers is tough. I did have one kid who was my ace pitcher that we used to catch at 9 sometimes. He coaches Brunswick High School now. He's the pitching coach at Brunswick High. His name's Kyle Bialich. Let me tell you, them kids couldn't run on him, but he was our ace pitcher, so we couldn't catch him much at 9. And but there's not many kids like that who can just stop the run from behind the plate at 9 years old. There's just
Nope.
not. You know.
Difficult. Running
But
game's massive.
yeah,
So
it's
that's why I
different.
love when a baseball gets to about 14. That's when that BB core goes in their hand. I really love that game. Now you start seeing you have to be a ball striker. All the fundamentals that you taught your entire life comes home now. That
Yeah, yeah.
kid that big kid that was bombing things at 13 years with a composite. Now little Johnny, who wasn't maybe as big, but is a great ball striker, now has the ability to compete against the bigger kid because he's a better ball striker with a BB core. You've seen it and I've seen it.
And I tell kids all the time too, and then flattening out your swing because if you can't hit that ball out no more and you just work out if you're a smaller kid, but the gaps are way bigger. So you can
Absolutely.
shoot the gaps. You don't have to lean on and hit the fly balls, hit those shooters, and they're gonna fall because that outfield all of a sudden it goes from here to here, you know. And
That's
there's a
right.
lot of room out there in the grass because you know, I like putting the ball in the air in baseball a lot. I don't like a bunch of ground balls. I think with the bigger outfields, we played at 13, we went straight to 60, 90 like the major teams do. So you're on the bigger
My
outfield.
group did too as well.
Yeah.
We did a
So
couple 5480s early on, maybe two. And then we
yeah.
dominated that and we moved on instantly to 60-90.
Yeah, and if you're putting the ball in the air a lot at 13 and 14 on them big fields, I mean, let's face it, it's tough for the outfielders at that age to
Yeah.
cover all that ground. So you can get a lot of hits if you just, you know, stay flat, hit line drives, and man, it'll work out and hustle out the box on the bigger fields. I tell
Bingo.
young kids too, when they get to middle school, if you're playing on a middle school team, that's where BB core starts here.
It
I
does.
heard a lot of the country don't play BB core in middle school. I don't know why, but we do here with the bigger.
We do up where I'm at up here. We play because I used to coach the middle school level out of the Cherokee Bluff system for quite a while, and we had a really good. I know some schools aren't great at middle school, but we had some really good middle school teams between Jefferson, North Oconee, Jackson County, North Hall, and all these teams that have good middle school are perennial teams in your state playoffs every year.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I noticed about the middle schools here is the grass was pretty thick. And, you know, so if you put it on the ground there, if you're hustling, you'll get on base
Sure
a
will.
lot. You know, a lot of the kids aren't used to playing on them fields and them coming up and making a play. You know, sometimes they will, but they might not. If you just get out the box, there's a lot of times where you might steal yourself a hit or just get on base by error, you know, because you hustled and I heard you say it a million times, hustle's free, right?
Absolutely, it is. You know how I feel about that word. It is not difficult to play hard and get after it. That's a talent that everybody's born with. You just got to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't see it a lot on the on the senior softball side as much as we should when we're out there playing. But you know, guys are old, and if they pop up, they might just want to walk back to the dugout. However, we've seen some pancake balls in Vegas, so you never know.
Yeah, we kind of gotten better with that. Our group, you know that they
Yeah,
running it out. So because you're
yeah,
right about that, you never know.
I think you know, senior softball, like, man, run it out. Hey, you never know what might happen. Take that double. Let's score the run, right? And
Absolutely.
when you're playing those big tournaments, it might come down to that. We seen it firsthand. So, but yeah, man, I know we just want to start jumping on here talking about the
Yep.
baseball, Brandon, as me and you will be pumping it up from here to January when it's launched. I did get cool baseball gloves in right here. Check that out.
I love it. It looks
12
good.
inch baseball gloves. So we with our softball gloves. Cage got all kind of gloves. So for the softballers, but we got a lot of cool stuff coming on the baseball side. Of course, we sell baseballs to high schools across the country already. So we have some ends with those guys. And I'm just excited about it. So I wanted to get away from the softball. I see people on here, people are asking about softball bats and this and that, probably wondering what the hell we're talking about.
I know they don't know we're talking about the BB. That's okay though. You know what? It is what it is. You'd rather talk about something from short porch than nothing. That's what I say.
Hey man, we talk plenty about the senior softball bats, and Dave and I'll be doing more of that tomorrow, and talking about the U Trip and senior stuff coming out soon. However,
It's
you know,
like you say, Jeff. We're just not a baseball bat company. We're a sporting good company.
yeah,
So
we're a sporting goods company. We do all kind of stuff, and we're growing. And people like the golf stuff. You know, we're innovative for sporting goods designs, and I think people who know us, they know we are developing a lot of cool stuff over the last few years, and the proof has been on the field. You know, so it's it,
absolutely.
it's just I always say it's exciting times because it always is. You know, we
Excuse
keep
me.
it fresh. You know, but and I know you're looking forward to a lot of softball upcoming in January with the new
We'll have
team.
fun with it. You know that. We always do, getting with the group of guys rolling. I always look forward to Challenge Cup. You know that one.
So who you
That's
think
always one of my favorite.
on the short porch 50s team right now before the season? Who's a sleeper guy to have a big year on the short porch 50 team? I think you got a couple guys I might not even know, or maybe it's somebody we had last year. Who you think's a sleeper to have a big year?
Sorry, my phone was ringing. Am I
You're
there? Did I
good.
lose you?
No, you're back.
Hello?
You back? You with
Hello?
me?
Am I there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What the heck?
I think he's
Dadgummit.
got me on mute somehow. It muted him.
What the?
Here, let me text you.
Gosh darn it. Am I there?
No, I'm with you. Hey,
Mm, okay. Just,
I think you might have to go and back off. I think that was happening to some other people. There we go. I told him to go off. But yeah, Brandon, add to the stream. I lost him. But yeah, Brandon's gonna have he's working the Georgia Challenge Cup team as well as the short porch 50 team.
sorry
Oh,
about that,
there we
Jeff.
go.
What happened was I had somebody call me and and it knocked me off for some reason. And
Yeah, just
I sent
muted
a
you.
message, please, I'm doing a podcast. Don't call me when I'm on this. So somebody
Yeah,
did, unfortunately.
yeah.
You was
Here,
asking me a lot of things going to have a good year for us.
a
You,
sleeper guy, somebody who's not who's not one of your top guys, who's a sleeper guy to have a big year, or next year. I guess past you it could be anybody,
But no,
um,
no, no, no. I think you're always gonna have your usual suspects, DI, Jaeger, Leak. You always expect those guys to always they're always
yeah,
top shelf guys. So they're so good at what they do, I kind of take them out of that equation. I'm not taking that for
yeah,
granted.
they're
Um
just going to do well. I understand.
I
That's what I was
think
asking. Who's the sleeper?
I think you're going to have a good year because I really do. I think
I
you know
don't
what
know
you. I
about
do.
that.
I am not saying that. I think you've seen it for the coming back and seeing that high pitch for a full season. I think you kind of know what you're getting into, and I know you have a work ethic. That's one. I think we're picking up a guy named Jackie Burns. He's an outfielder. I think he's going to be
Yeah,
a really good asset to us. I think he's going to have a massive year this year for us coming out. And some of the holdovers, the usual suspects are going to hit. I think who I think is going to have a really good year, and I think is Cracker Brian Williams.
yeah, I can
He's
see
steady
that.
Eddie, but
I
I
can see
think
that.
I
Yeah,
think I just think he's at that point where you know what? I'm done with the home runs. I know I'm right center field gap guy. I can hit 750 every week just doing that if I want to. And I just do. I think he's there ready to understand that. And I say that, I just do. I think he's ready to take that responsibility to be that guy that I do. I really, that's my pick to have that which hitting 700 is good, but I think going to 750 I think he
having
makes that jump.
having some real big 800 plus tournaments.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah,
do. I really
I
think
can
he's going to
see
make
that
that
with
jump.
him. What really impressed me about Cracker was the tournament where he was hurt and he pitched hit, batted 1,000 pitch hit in Space
Unbelievable.
Coast. Yeah,
Right.
that's
And
hard to do, man. That is hard to do.
because
Coming
I've
off the
always
bench, it's
said
really hard to
it's
do.
kind of like, when Yeager's swinging the bat, when Yeager really is focused on hitting, he loves to call it that honey hole. Everything lays in just lays into him, just boom, boom. You look up and
Yeah,
he's 13 for 14, 19 for 21, 9, 10 doubles, 3 home runs,
yeah,
just a great weekend when he's really, and that's another one. And I don't take those guys for granted. I just do not. They just there every week with their numbers. And I expect them to always do that. And it's the expectation. I know they would say that for themselves, but a guy that I think, just like Jason Leak, I'll put Jason Leak in that category because I think Jason's another one that Jason thinks he should be hitting 800. And I firmly believe that about him.
yeah.
So, but I think Cracker makes that jump this year to really become really good, really elite. I think he makes that jump to really get over that threshold.
Yeah, I think that's a good observation because, he does have a little power. Everybody on that roster has power. It's not that they can't hit home runs. But, he is he is built to run the outfield and hit doubles, and he does it really well. I know he got caught up a little bit where he was flying home runs where he was trying to hit them in the gaps last year, but I think that was a little Vegas. Vegas, the ball flies a little further. I know he
Dude,
wanted I know he wanted some of them balls to get off the fence or one hop the fence and they just got out for him. And
right?
some he did mean to hit because he come up in that spot. But however, Jason Lee, he's an elite player.
No
I
doubt. Leaky,
think he's one of the
Leaky's
better.
so funny. Leak
Yeah,
Leaky's that guy, man. He just walks in the batter's box like he hits a double and he looks at you like, that's what I'm supposed to do because I can do
yeah.
it.
He,
That's the way he
he
is. It's hilarious.
He plays well. He's got his bat stays in the zone a long time. Real flat swing,
Yes. Nice
way
barrel
long.
path.
And I think that really helps him. And he just does him.
But he's
If you
all,
watch
but
him game in, game out, he's not changing a lot. He has really sneaky power, man. For his size, really sneaky power. So, and I was really baffled at some of the guys swinging the 25-ounce short porch bats and hitting bombs like they were. I'll tell you, I know that's not something that you and I try a lot, but I was impressed that they were able to hit those lighter bats that well. And
Mm.
you know, it really it showed off that the short porch bat was really performing in the lighter weight. Because let me tell you, you know, you don't have a lot of mass on that barrel to hit that kind of distance.
It's hard. It
You
is.
know, but
Some of them
but
guys like it.
yeah, I seen a few of them swing some. Heck, even Tommy was swinging a 26 ounce.
Tommy's a
And
strong dude, man. I'm gonna tell you that
yeah,
right now. He hit
and
some balls this weekend. He was down towards Todd. He's playing with Rayner and some of those guys, Tyler Story and the young man side of it, and he was swinging the
yeah,
240 wig popper, and I was sitting here and watching him rattle it off the fence line drive after line drive with that 240 reg wig popper. Yes, he was.
I think he busted a car up in. I got a video. I'm pretty sure it was Tommy busted a car up in the parking lot. So yeah, with the U trip stuff.
I believe it. So
Yeah, so you
yeah,
know,
that's funny.
but yeah, some of them guys, man, they really step on the ball, and I just wanted to. I was just curious, man, because I always want to hear, like you said, the usual suspects. You know, we know what they're gonna do. I was curious
And
to
it's
see.
no slight to them. It's just it's their greatness. And I tell folks,
Yeah, it's their great.
it's that we don't take it for granted. It's just the bar so high on them. And I always say
Well, I
players like
think.
those guys, they
I,
will utterly tell you it's a failure if they don't meet that expectation, and that's what makes those guys great players.
well, it's like you. When you talk about like tournament MVPs and thing, I think you're so good and you're on a different platform that a lot of times you just get taken out of the conversation because you hit that great and hit just absolute
But you
moose
also
every
know
weekend.
me.
You know?
What a lot of people don't know about me is most of the time, and you know this about me, I tell those guys, don't give me an all
Don't
tournament
give
or
it
an
to you.
MVP.
Yeah, and I could
You
see
know that
that.
about me.
I
I've done it
realized
numerous
that.
times.
Okay, Brandon. You know, Brandon does that every weekend. So
I
when you
make
have
sure the
some,
guys,
yeah,
I want my guys to get it, man. I do not
yeah,
make that
the
about
guys
me.
when
The
they
only
have
time that,
when they
you know,
have a
I do that a
900
lot.
batting average weekend, even if you hit 950, I know you're going to give it to them for sure.
Sorry, another guy was calling me.
You're back on. But yeah, I know that about you. I know even if you hit a little better, you're
You
going to
there?
give it to that next guy. And I commend you on that. And it's
Time somebody
easy.
calls me.
It's easy to make that call when you're as humble as you. I'll tell you guys, Brandon's phone is blowing up.
Sorry, Jeff. My phone, every time people call me and it knocks me
It
off and
mutes
I
you.
can't get.
Yeah, it mutes you. But yeah, I was just saying, and we know you're humble like that. I've seen it happen several times, and you know, I know you know it, but I wanted to bring that up that, you know, just because you hit nine, whatever, if you had a guy hit 890, I know you're gonna hand him a lot of
Ain't no
time,
doubt.
you know, and talk, and then you're gonna talk about them.
For
And
sure.
that says a lot
Listen,
to,
I love my teammates, and I know some of them. They know I'm, but some of them will tell you, "Hey, it's not that I'm hard. I just have an expectation for those guys, and
yeah,
I believe in them that much. And when I say, when I see them not doing something that benefits the team, I might get in their ear a little bit and say, "Hey, man, you're better than that. Let's go."
yeah,
Because that's what it takes to win. But at the same time, when we go to do these all 10 tournaments or MVPs, I always make sure these guys get what's deserved for them. I've always said team first.
yeah, absolutely. You know, that's commendable. I'll say that. I've seen it happening
Appreciate
last
it.
year. That's why I wanted to bring it up. And it says something to be that consistent as you are all the time. That you know you at times people ask, well, how did Brandon do? Well, Brandon hits good every tournament. So
And
when
I
we
don't
talk
post,
about the
me, and I
other
don't
players,
post stats. And you
yeah,
know me, I don't post stats on the internet. I
yeah,
go, I'm always, what, and I don't make fun of folks. I just go, I love what you do. I mean, to me, it's always about, hey, did we get first place? I mean, what is the point of having great numbers if you don't win the tournament? I've never
well,
understood that.
I'll
I
tell
don't
you,
get that.
it's real hard for everybody else not to have a off weekend here. You know, you might have
Mhm.
3, 4 great tournaments in a row, but most people's going to have an off weekend. And I know you and a few others, maybe Jason and Y'all don't have off weekends, and that's what separates the players here from the good players. The good Major Plus players will have a bad weekend in there somewhere, but the elite ones, they just don't seem to have bad weekends. And that's commendable to you guys and how good
Yes.
you are, man. And I've noticed these things, through the last year being out there. I wasn't out there near as many tournaments as all you guys and playing, but I do pay attention. So it's
Absolutely, brother.
yeah, man. But however, man, thank you for coming on, man. I
Appreciate it,
appreciate
Jeff.
everything. The baseball stuff is coming, guys. It's coming, and we're excited about it.
Guys, if you're paying attention to this, I can't emphasize to you, give Short Porch a shot to put that BB core in your hand. You will not be disappointed if you're out here listening. Give it a chance. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. It is a fire stick. It's a difference maker.
Yeah, absolutely. When we're sitting here this time next year talking about BB core, we'll be in a conversation with all the top tier BB core bats, just like
No
we
doubt
will
about
with
it.
the others. So we're just trying to give everybody the heads up. Jump on quick.
Well, brother, I know you got things to do.
Yeah, man.
Everybody out there in Short Porch Land, y'all have a blessed night. And if we don't do this next week, everybody out there have a blessed, and I mean a heartfelt Merry Christmas, and hug your loved ones and all that stuff. Okay?
That's right.
Appreciate all y'all.
Merry Christmas. Thank you,
Yes,
Brandon.
sir.
Everybody, that is Brandon Murray. He is one of the greatest senior softball players to walk this earth for a variety of reasons, from his just overall stature to his work ethic. The guy is one badass hitter. There's no flaws in his swing. He has a great eye, at the plate. He is a coach and a quarterback. When he plays, he makes everybody better around him. So he will be doing a lot of the baseball stuff for us next year, and we will be doing more of these lives talking about the baseball stuff as we get into that genre, and obviously getting Brandon on here more and more. He'll be talking about the senior softball. But Dave and I'll be on tomorrow night. As always, we'll be talking all things softball, slow pitch softball world. So you guys, peace out. Have a great night.